What is co-parenting like for you guys?
Ciara recently spoke out about her relationship with Future, addressing both their time together as a couple and their time now as separated co-parents on a recent episode of Alex Cooper's Call Her Daddy podcast. It seems that Ciara does not hold Future in very high esteem at all, despite dating him for 2 years, agreeing to an engagement with him, and having a child with him. After sharing a significant number of major milestones together, things came crashing down in a big way for Ciara and Future. So what changed? How did Ciara go from beginning to build a life with Future to throwing shade at him in interviews? I'm sure you're very curious and want to hear all the details. Well, I don't want to keep you waiting, so let's get into it. I'll give a little background to start. Ciara and Future started dating in late 2012. It wasn't long before things got really serious between them. In October 2013, they got engaged, with Future presenting Ciara a $500,000 engagement ring. And they didn't slow down there. In January 2014, Ciara revealed that she was pregnant. A few months later, their son, Future Zahir, was born. Everyone thought that Ciara and Future were in it for the long haul. I mean, they were engaged and had a baby. From the outside, everything appeared to be very positive. Well, it turns out it wasn't as peachy behind the scenes. Mere months after baby Future was born, Ciara and Future split up. There were rumors of cheating and other marital problems, but Ciara recently was very explicit about what exactly caused her to break off the engagement. We finally have a definitive answer for why everything fell apart for them. In an appearance on the Call Her Daddy podcast, Ciara reflected on why she ended her relationship with Future, and she didn't try to sugarcoat things. It's clear that she isn't too concerned with being on good terms with him. You won't believe what she said. According to Ciara, having a baby pushed her to really consider whether Future was the right partner for her. Ciara shared with Call Her Daddy that when baby Future was born, she took a critical look at her life and considered which parts of it were helpful in her quest to be a good mother and which parts of it were not so helpful. And as it turned out, she decided Future was in the latter camp. While Future probably didn't like hearing that, I honestly really respect Ciara's decision to consider what would set her up to be the best mother she could be. I imagine it was difficult to be so critical of the life she was used to. It takes a lot of strength and admirable commitment to motherhood to completely change your life for the child's sake. Whether or not Future agrees, and I think it's safe to say he doesn't, Ciara had the best intentions possible. She further explained that she realized that she needed to only let things into her life that brought her joy, so that her cup would always be full, as she puts it. By which I take it, she means that in order for her to be her best for baby Future, she needed to remove anything that was negatively affecting herself. She could only show up fully for baby Future if she was herself doing well. So why did she consider Future a negative? I've been praising Ciara's decision-making process. I think it was absolutely the right move to cut things out of her life that didn't fit with her duties to baby Future. But why did she come to the conclusion that being with Future was one of the things that needed to be cut? How did she think Future would hurt her abilities as a mother? I mean, they had been together for a long stretch of time, and she seemed to be all in on him for a lot of it. So what happened? Was it the cheating allegations, as many people at the time assumed was the reason for the split? Well, it turns out it actually wasn't that. Ciara had another reason that no one knew about until now. Ciara revealed in her appearance on the podcast that her loss in interest for Future was very similar to when your taste buds change. She explained that she didn't have a taste for Future, but that after a while, it just faded away. Similar to the way you might stop liking a certain food after you eat too much of it. And she implied that continuing her relationship with him, despite the shift in her feelings for him, was very tiring. He wasn't bringing her joy anymore, rather, he was bringing her down. And Ciara felt that she needed all the energy she could find in order to properly provide for baby Future. And Future was an energy drain rather than an energy source. Ciara said that she was absolutely sure it was the right move to leave him. She said that she knew it with her whole being, from her head to her feet to her head, in her soul, and in her body. I'm sure Future loved hearing about the utter certainty with which Ciara was done with him. Sarcasm aside, it really can't feel good to hear your ex say something like that. But regardless of Future's feelings, I 100% respect Ciara's decision. She seems like a truly dedicated mother. Ciara also spoke about how co-parenting with Future is going these days. How are things between them now? Ciara and Future have joint custody of baby Future, who's not really a baby anymore. So how does Ciara feel about working with Future to create the best upbringing they can for baby Future? Well, while she wasn't as explicit as she was about how the breakup went down, she made her feelings about co-parenting with Future pretty clear during another recent interview. Ciara was speaking with The Shade Room when the host, Thembi Mawima, asked Ciara how sharing parental duties with Future was going. The way she responded was crazy and hilarious if you ask me. You won't believe what happened. Rather than going into an explanation of how she and Future handled the complexities of raising a child while separated, Ciara simply broke out in laughter. And it wasn't just a light chuckle. She laughed for a whole 15 seconds after Thembi Thinby's question. If that's not telling of some serious behind-the-scenes drama, I don't know what is. It's great that she was able to have a sense of humor about it during the interview, but I imagine that she doesn't find it at all that funny when actually dealing with the difficulties. I mean, I've highlighted all the effort she's put into being a good mother. It must be super frustrating when she and Future are at odds about how to best co-parent baby Future. And it's very clear that they are often in that at odds position. She would not have responded to Thinby's question the way she did if things were going well between her and Future. Hopefully things get easier, but I'd be surprised if they did. Ciara is, as you probably know, married to Russell Wilson now, and Future has gone so far as to diss Russell in his songs. So it would be pretty shocking if Ciara and Future were able to reconcile their differences and co-parent in a healthy way. They clearly don't agree with each other's life choices, so that's the tea on Ciara and Future. I'm super curious to hear what you all think. Can you believe how candid Ciara was about the end of her relationship with Future? Do you think that she and Future will ever find a way to more successfully co-parent? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below.